A lot of survival gear looks great on day one, but it quits fast when it needs batteries, special parts, or perfect conditions. This video is a beginner-friendly prepping guide focused on the opposite. Simple, durable items you can maintain, repair, and keep using for years. No gimmicks, no one-time gadgets, just gear that keeps doing its job when replacements aren't an option. Here are 20 survival gear items that last forever. Number 1. Full-tang fixed-blade knife. A fixed blade is one of those tools that keeps earning its space because it does not depend on anything except your hands. Full tang means the blade and the handle core are one solid piece of steel, so there is no hinge, lock, or hidden weak point. For longevity, pick a simple shape with a straight spine, a comfortable handle, and a sheath that will not trap moisture. Skip hollow handles and gimmicky features. Plain geometry is easier to maintain. Stainless steel fights rust. Carbon steel sharpens easier. Either works if you're willing to care for it. The long life part is that a knife can be brought back with basic habits. Wipe it dry, oil it lightly, and touch up the edge often instead of waiting until it is totally dull. Once you can cut cleanly, almost every other task gets easier. Number 2. Carbon steel hatchet or axe. When you need to split kindling, clear branches, or shape wood for shelter, a small axe does work a knife should not be forced to do. The design is brutally straightforward, a wedge of steel on a handle. That is why it lasts. Go for a head that can be sharpened with a file or stone, and a handle you can replace without special hardware. A simple wooden handle is a feature, not a flaw, because it is serviceable. Hickory is a classic handle wood because it is tough and forgiving, but even if the handle cracks, the head can be rehung on a new one. Keep the edge covered, do not store it wet in a sheath, and check the head for looseness before use. This is a tool for efficiency, not a weapon, and safe technique matters more than raw strength. Number 3. Non-powered saw. A saw is the quiet workhorse beginners overlook because it is not flashy, but it saves time and calories. For long-term use, think folding saws with replaceable blades or a simple bow saw frame that takes standard blades. Cutting wood with a saw is usually safer and more controlled than hacking at it with an axe, especially for smaller pieces. The long life logic is simple. The frame can last for decades, and blades are common, non-proprietary consumables you can stock cheaply. Keep the blade clean, dry it after wet use, and store it so the teeth do not get smashed. With a saw and an axe working together, you can process wood with less effort and less risk. Number 4. All-metal manual can opener. Stored food is one of the easiest beginner wins, and a can opener is the key that turns those calories into actual meals. For longevity, avoid plastic handles that crack, and look for a simple all-metal design you can rinse and dry. Nothing needs batteries, there is no software, and there is no fragile mechanism if you choose a proven style with a sturdy cutting wheel. A small drop of oil on the moving parts once in a while keeps it smooth. It is smart to keep backups in different places, one in the kitchen, one in a go bag, and a spare near your food storage. Losing this tiny tool is a surprisingly common failure point. Number 5. Sharpening stone and simple strop. Long-lasting gear stays useful only if it stays sharp and functional, and sharpening is what separates a tool from dead weight. A basic combo stone, coarse and fine, or a durable diamond stone will last a very long time. Add a simple strop, like leather on a flat board, to refine the edge and keep it biting without removing much metal. The beginner approach is straightforward. Sharpen little and often, keep your angle consistent, and do not chase perfection. Even a medium-sharp knife is safer than a dull one because it needs less force. Once you can maintain edges, your cutting tools stop being disposable and start being true lifetime tools. Number 6. Ferro Rod Fire Starter. After cutting tools, fire is the next big step because it brings warmth, clean water, and cooked food. For fire starting that does not depend on stored fuel or delicate parts, a ferro rod is hard to beat. It is a metal alloy rod that throws hot sparks when scraped with a sharp edge. The point is not that it is magic. It is that it works when wet, in wind, and after years of sitting in a bag. One rod can produce thousands of strikes, which is why people treat it like long-life gear. Pair it with a dedicated striker, or the spine of your knife, and keep it with simple tinder you can replace easily. Practice when conditions are easy, because the skill is what makes the tool reliable when conditions are not. Number 7. Metal fire container or compact stove. Starting a fire is one thing. Controlling it is what makes fire useful. A small steel firebox, hobo stove, or even a sturdy metal can used as a stove gives you wind protection and focuses heat. That means less fuel, less smoke, and more consistent cooking. Metal containers also let you burn small twigs efficiently, which matters when big campfires are not practical or allowed. The durability is that it is just metal. It can get sooty, bent, and scratched, and still work. If you are prepping at home, a simple grill grate or a compact stove does the same job of turning scraps of wood into steady heat. Keep it dry to slow rust, and you have a cooking platform that does not care about the power grid. Number 8. Stainless steel pot or kettle. If you can boil water and cook basic food, you can stay functional in a lot of situations. A single-wall stainless steel pot or kettle is a long-term staple because it handles high heat, does not crack like glass, and does not melt like plastic. Look for a lid, a bail handle if possible, and no non-stick coating that can wear out. The pot becomes a water purifier, a soup maker, and a way to sterilize small tools. It is also easier to clean than you might think. Hot water, a bit of soap, and a scrub pad. With a pot and controlled heat, your food storage and your water plan both get stronger at the same time. Number 9. Single-wall steel bottle and cup. A stainless steel bottle that is single-wall, not insulated, earns its long-life reputation because it can go near heat without failing. You can carry water in it, then boil water in it if you need to, which matters when you want fewer items doing more jobs. A nesting steel cup gives you a way to heat smaller amounts, make a hot drink, or eat without juggling cookware. Avoid flimsy caps. A simple screw top with a gasket you can replace is ideal. Keep the bottle clean and dry when stored, and do not be afraid of dents. Dented steel still holds water. Good containers are the start of every water strategy because you cannot purify what you cannot hold. Number 10. Ceramic gravity water filter. Water is where beginners can get overwhelmed, so keep it simple. Collect, filter, and store. A gravity system uses height and time instead of pumps and batteries. The long life benefit is a cleanable ceramic or mechanical filter element that you can scrub to restore flow, rather than a tiny disposable cartridge that becomes unavailable. Ceramic and hollow fiber filters are great for bacteria and protozoa, but most are not designed to stop viruses, so know what your filter is actually rated for. To make any filter last longer, pre-filter very dirty water through cloth to remove grit,
and avoid letting the element freeze. No filter lasts literally forever, but the good ones are built for long service life and can be maintained with basic cleaning. Keep a backup method in mind, like boiling in your steel pot, because redundancy is what makes a plan dependable. Number 11. Metal bucket with lid. Once you're thinking about water, you also need a way to move it and manage mess. A plain metal bucket is not glamorous, but it is one of the most flexible pieces of gear you can own. It carries water, helps with washing, can act as a basic fireproof container, and can support sanitation needs when systems are down.
A lid matters because it keeps odors and insects under control and makes transport easier. Choose galvanized steel or stainless, and check that the handle is strong and comfortable. At home, you can store a few essentials inside it, like soap, gloves, and heavy trash bags, so it becomes a ready-to-grab kit. A bucket is also easy to clean and sanitize, which keeps small problems from turning into bigger health issues. Number 12. Bar soap and simple hygiene tools. Hygiene is survival, not a luxury, because infections and skin problems can take you out faster than a lack of gadgets. Bar soap is stable, compact, and does not leak like liquids. It also lasts longer than people expect if you let it dry between uses. Add a nail brush, a small washcloth, and a basic toothbrush. Keep it focused on what prevents illness: clean hands, clean cooking surfaces, and basic wound cleaning. Soap also helps with cleaning cookware and removing greasy grime from tools. If you are building a beginner stockpile, hygiene items are cheap, easy to rotate, and they pay off fast. Number 13. Wool blanket. Comfort is not the point. Temperature control is. Wool is one of those old-school materials that keeps showing up because it does the job even when conditions are messy. It insulates when damp, it breathes, and it resists sparks better than many synthetics. A good wool blanket can last for decades if you keep moths away and store it dry. It is not just for sleeping. It can be an extra layer under you to reduce heat loss to the ground, a wrap, a windbreak, or padding to protect gear. For beginners, wool is forgiving. You do not have to baby it, and it still performs. Number 14. Heavy-duty tarp and grommet repair kit. A tarp is basically portable shelter material, and it belongs on a long-lasting list because it can be repaired in the field. The best approach is to pick a tougher tarp than you think you need and learn how to patch it. A small grommet kit, repair tape, and a needle with heavy thread can keep it going for years. Canvas tarps are heavier, but handle sunlight and abrasion well. Synthetic tarps are lighter, but need protection from sharp edges and long UV exposure. Either way, a tarp becomes a roof, a ground barrier, a rain catcher, and a privacy screen. For home preparedness, tarps also protect windows, cover damaged roofs, and keep supplies dry. Pair it with cordage, and you can set up basic cover quickly without needing special poles. Number 15. Real rope and durable cordage. Cordage is what turns loose items into a shelter, a carry system, or a repair. Paracord is popular, but think bigger than that. A length of quality rope for heavy tasks and a smaller cord for tying and lashing. The long life concept is not that rope never wears. It is that rope is universal, easy to inspect, and replaceable with common materials. Store it away from sun, chemicals, and rodents. Learn a few reliable knots, like a bowline and a trucker's hitch, and you will get more done with less gear. Cordage also supports safety. It lets you secure loads and reduce the chance of injuries from shifting items. Number 16. Needle, thread, and a basic repair kit. Shelter and clothing do not have to be perfect. They have to keep working. Replacing gear is expensive and often impossible in a long disruption, so repair is a form of preparedness. A few heavy needles, strong thread, a thimble, and patches let you fix clothing, packs, tarps, and straps. A small sewing awl can be helpful because it makes strong stitches in thick material without needing power tools. Keep a few spare buckles and a small roll of tough tape, but rely on stitching as your long-term solution. Repair early. A small tear is easy, a big rip is a headache. Even simple items like safety pins and a spare zipper pull can keep gear usable until you can do a proper fix. Number 17. Hand crank flashlight or dynamo lantern. Light is one of the first things people miss in a blackout, and most lights fail because they are married to batteries. A hand crank or dynamo light is not indestructible, but it is self-contained. You trade a little effort for usable light without hunting for spare cells. Look for a design with a solid crank, a simple on-off switch, and a reputable build with fewer modes and fewer fragile extras. If it has a built-in rechargeable battery, make sure the light still works while cranking, even if that battery gets weaker over the years. Some models also accept common batteries as a backup, which is useful, but the key feature is that it can still work when batteries are dead or missing. Store it where you can grab it fast, and test it a few times a year so you know it still charges and still shines.
Number 18. Simple hand tools for maintenance. Once you can see what you are doing, maintenance gets easier and safer. A small file, a sturdy screwdriver, an adjustable wrench, and basic pliers are not exciting, but they keep your other gear alive. Screws loosen, handles wobble, and edges need shaping. These tools let you tighten, bend, cut, and smooth without needing electricity. Pick sturdy versions with minimal gimmicks and store them with a little oil to slow rust. A file is especially useful because it can sharpen axe edges, remove burrs, and clean up damaged metal. Add a handful of common fasteners, like a few bolts, nuts, and washers, and you can keep simple repairs going for a long time. This is also where a basic pair of work gloves belongs, because protecting your hands is part of staying useful. Number 19. Paper maps and a base plate compass. Navigation gear that does not rely on satellites is the definition of long-term preparedness. Paper maps do not need charging, and a simple base plate compass has no complex parts. The trick is keeping them protected. Store maps in a waterproof sleeve and keep the compass away from strong magnets. For beginners, the skill is basic. Know how to orient a map, understand simple bearings, and recognize key terrain features. Even if you never plan to go off-grid, maps help in storms, blackouts, and evacuations when roads are closed or phones do not work. Keep maps of your local area, not just a big national atlas, because local detail is what actually helps. It is worth marking key spots like home, meeting points, hospitals, and alternate routes, so you are not making decisions under stress. Number 20. Signal mirror and metal whistle. Communication is part of survival, and simple signals beat shouting when distance and noise get in the way. A signal mirror uses sunlight, has no moving parts, and does not run out of power. A metal whistle is loud, compact, and works even when you are tired. These are the kind of items you stash in every kit because they are light and they do not expire. Practice using the mirror so you can aim the reflection without guessing, and attach the whistle to your pack or jacket so it is always on you. In many emergencies, the goal is not to tough it out. It is to be found and to coordinate, and simple signaling tools support that without adding complicated gear.
Keep both on a simple lanyard so you can use them hands-free and so they do not disappear in the bottom of your bag.